guys, it's Brandon with Share the Shred. I'm going to be putting this product on that a friend turned me on to called Squeal out. My brakes have been squealing quite a bit since I put on ceramics, just with the dust and everything. I'm pretty sure I bedded them in right, but still squeals a little bit on some downhills, long downhills. I already tried this stuff on my fiance's bike and it works pretty darn well. There's quite a few steps, so it's a little bit of a process to put on, but well worth it in the end. So I'm going to be going over the steps on how to apply this to your brake pads and rotors so that you don't screw it up or anything crazy happens, because basically, essentially, your brakes will not be working when you put this on at first. So just a little caveat, you want to do one brake at a time, so you still have braking power on one of the brakes in case you really need to stop. I'm doing it out in my neighborhood street here. It's all flat and level, it's pretty safe, but let's go over the steps on how to do this, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, and probably takes about 30 minutes to do. So they recommend that you stir this up. You can use a little stick, Q-tip, you know, toothpick, whatever. Stir this guy up. That's the paste they say to do. So we're gonna just mix this up a little bit better. Now I'm wearing gloves just to make sure I don't contaminate my brake pads. I would recommend doing the same just to be safe. I'm actually just gonna apply a little with whatever on the Q-tip right here to the rotors, and then probably just spread it out a little bit by hand. Now they say go sparingly on this, so you don't want to use too much, but you do want to get it enough to where it's coated decently and you can run it around and through your brake pads. So, just like so. Okay? Let's run it through. You're gonna hear a grinding noise because that's the paste going onto the brake pads. And then I'm just gonna give it a little squeeze, run it through. All right. Now it's time to take it out onto the road and run it through until the brake starts working again, sort of. Now I chose to do my front brake first. You can do your rear or front, it really doesn't matter. Just ride around and start squeezing your brake. You can see squeezing my brake right now and it's doing absolutely nothing at all. It's gripping a little bit. You just want to ride back and forth on the street or wherever, park, you know, your yard, whatever, and squeeze that front brake until you start feeling the brake come back a bit. It's just starting to finally take now, and the brake's starting to come back for me. And when that starts to happen, when you feel like, hey, you're getting some brake back, means you kind of, paste has kind of worked its way into the pads, and you can probably go ahead and clean them off, and that's the next step. After you let the paste soak in and get all around and work its way in, we're basically gonna take the wheel off. Now we're gonna clean the pads and clean the rotor with rubbing alcohol. After you let the paste soak in and get all around and work its way in, we're basically gonna take the wheel off. Now we're gonna clean the pads and clean the rotor with rubbing alcohol. We're also going to take the pads out because you want to clean the pads and wipe them off pretty decent. It'd be maybe a little warm from riding them around. Always be sure to put that clip back on the pin so you don't lose it. Not too warm, they're cooling off pretty quick. 7% rubbing alcohol should do in this situation. Always like using a spray bottle when it comes to applying rubbing alcohol onto rotors and pads. You aren't getting it wasting a whole bunch or as much as you would if you just poured it onto a rag or whatever, but yeah, do what you like. Just gonna spray off the rotor and use a clean rag. I got a clean rag right here on this side. Use the other one for the other bike a couple days ago. Alright, I'm just gonna try to get off all that paste off that was on the rotors. Gonna wipe it real good. I'm gonna flip it around. Go ahead and spray the other side of the rotors. So it's like I'm at a doctor's office getting allergy shots right now. Rub each arm with some rubbing alcohol. Those were the days when I was a kid getting allergy shots twice a week. Don't recommend it. Pretty sure it didn't even work. So, you know, modern medicine. Alright. Now that that's clean, I'm pretty sure I got most of the paste off the rotors. We're going to clean the pads now. Let's put that aside. See how the paste worked itself into the rotors right here on both sides. So I'm gonna spray those with some rubbing alcohol. Just put that aside. See how the paste worked itself into the rotors right here on both sides. So I'm gonna spray those with some rubbing alcohol. Take part of the clean rag, just clean it off real good. Make sure it looks like new. Looks pretty good to me. Same thing for this one. Try to keep that nice little bracket on so I don't have to mess with it to get it back on. Alright. There we go. Like so. Then we're gonna go ahead and put the pin back on. Okay. All right, now we're gonna take the bike out and start applying the front brake again now that we cleaned the rotor and cleaned the brake pads until full braking power has returned, which shouldn't take long. So we're gonna ride around and do that. All right, braking power is just about coming all the way back. It's really nice because there's absolutely no sound coming from the front brake right now. So we're done with the first wheel, first brake. Pretty happy how it turned out. Sounds really good. It's pretty dang quiet. I'm gonna finish up, do time lapse on the second rear brake and do the same steps, and then it'll be good to go. So we're all done with the rear brake. Sounds pretty good riding around. We'll find out how it does on National and going downhill tomorrow afternoon. But I highly recommend giving it a try. So give this a shot. It's called Squeal Out again. And I will put a link in the description on Amazon where to buy it from. It's about 25 bucks, I believe, or 20 bucks, I think. Well worth the money. There's quite a bit in here. Probably won't be going through all of it in the next year or two, if that. So anyways, check it out, and I hope this video was helpful on how to apply it and use it, and may probably never heard of it. So happy shredding to everybody.